Hey y'all, it's Craig with the Bickums here at our warehouse, Small Town Wreath Shop. I hope everybody's having a fabulous day. Alright, my wife Melissa, this is what she was working on her little video, the beginning stages of a grapevine, how she starts creating her base with her larger greenery and then starts to build up from there. So that's part one. Now she always leaves a section open for me to make her bow. So when I get the bow on, she can start building around it with all of her other florals, more greenery, and anything else that she likes to stick on it, a sign if she's using it. So now this is my portion of the video where I'm going to be making a bow. So I hope you get some value out of this video. If you do, give me a thumbs up, please. I'd appreciate it. So let's get this cute little bow made for this wreath. Alright, so let's get this bow made for Melissa. This is the colors that we're using. This is a wreath she's making that's very similar to one that we sold as soon as she made it. So this is the ribbon that we're going to use today. It's going to be a blast off style bow where we're going to have 3 loops, 2 loops, 1 loop from bottom up. So we're going to start off with the black and white polka dot. We do have this ribbon, the polka dot and the fuchsia pink, in stock here at smalltownwreathshop.com. So y'all can check out our supplies there. We'd appreciate that. We appreciate everybody's business. Let me get me some scissors here. Alright, so I always dovetail mine when I first start. We're going to run about, that's going to be about 11-inch tail on the right. Now we're going to go a little shorter, about 10. About 10-inch tails to the right, and I'm going to do about an 8-inch tail to the left. We're going to do 3 loops. Now, how I do this, let's start over. Alright, I just take the ribbon and I go straight down between my pegs, and I use one hand to go, I reach all the way under this side and I grab the bottom, and this side I'm on the top. And then, so that's how, I use my thumbs, but that's how you twist. That's how you get your twist. And I run it between my fingers, make sure it's good and straight. And then we do our 1 loop, and I'm only going to do about a 5 and a half inch loop on each side. We're going to do 3 of those. So you do the same thing. So we grab underneath, on top, whichever way you want to do. That's just the way I do it. And you twist and push down in the bottom of your pegs. Then I pull your slack. Make sure you get to your 5 and a half mark, and then we make another loop. Get to our 5 and a half, same thing, reach over, twist, and that's how you make your loops. And you just keep repeating the process. Twist, make sure you're the same length, make your loop again. I kind of keep pushing everything down in there to make sure it stays, and then I pull it against the peg, twist. Make sure you got that loop, and 1 more on each side. So we twist, and make sure you twist it good. This is all wired ribbon, so do what you need to do with it to make it go where you need it to go. And this will be the last one. Now just make sure your loops are kind of sort of about the same length. You don't want them being too different. I mean, they can be a little bit, but not a whole lot. Alright, now we're going to go to about our 8-inch mark or so, a little longer than 8. That's about 8. And now I'm going to cut my little dovetail on, just like so. And that's got our first one, our first ribbon on. So we're going to put the pin back in him, in it, and we're going to go to our next one. So we're going to get our pink, our fuchsia, hot pink, whatever you want to call it. Now this is on a 50-yard roll. We don't sell the 50-yard rolls. We do have the 10-yard rolls, the smaller rolls though. Alright, so this one's going to be a little less than 10. So let's look at it and see. So just a little shorter. Same thing, except now we're only going to do 2 loops on each side. Come a little bit shorter. We're going to do about 3/4 of an inch to a 1/2 inch shorter than your last loop. Make your twist, make your loop, get your measurement, make your twist, get you another loop, and just keep you some slack pulled off of that roll so you got plenty of room to work, you know. So there's 2 on that side and 2 on this side, and then I just kind of turn and just kind of, you can just push it and kind of accordion it up that last little bit. Make sure it's good. We're going to go a little bit shorter than our last tail, and we're going to cut our dovetail. These are super pretty bows. They're simple. They're kind of airy, so you stick your greenery, your little your small tight flowers. You can, you know, fill in between all your fingers on these style bows, because they don't have so many loops. And this will be our last one. We're only going to do a single loop on each side. Dovetail a little shorter. Now I want to, you see how this ribbon's made a little different. I really like this ribbon, but if you don't watch it, it will fold up on the end. So if it does that, when you cut your dovetail, instead of being such at a 45, shorten it up and come to about a 20, I don't know, about a 25. Make a little shorter dovetail and it'll stay out. And you can always kind of adjust it if you need to make it a little deeper, about a 1/2 inch or so shorter than that last one. Same thing on this side. Just accordion up your ribbon down the middle. Check your length. Check your length every time. Adjust that ribbon out down here in the bottom where it gets those little creases if you can. And a little bit shorter than the last. Same thing on this side. We're going to dovetail, but we're not going to dovetail quite such an angle. We're going to kind of shorten that angle up a little so that ribbon will stay open and it won't try to curl up on the end. Just a little tidbit there. Now I use zip ties, and then we use a chenille stem to tie. I'm just going to use a white. You can use a pink if you want, but I raise up, starting at the bottom, just raise it up where you can get that zip tie underneath and connect it, and just cinch it down snug. Don't pull it tight yet. And you're going to keep that stack. You're going to keep that crease right there. I don't know if y'all can see it, but there's a little crease where these pegs were at, where it's tight. Keep them in line. Get that zip tie kind of rolled around to the back, and stick your chenille stem under the zip tie. About halfway of your chenille stem, and then start kind of pulling it down. But still keep that stack straight. Keep all that ribbon stacked on top of each other pretty straight. Don't let it roll over on one another. Alright, and this is the Pro Bow 4-in-1 bow maker. I really like it. It's done really good for me. Now we're going to start fluffing. I don't know why, habit. I like to start on my longer tail side. So just start grabbing. I hold the zip tie and the chenille stems together is what I work off of, and I just start pulling. Pull that first tail this way, and then I'm going to open all 3 of them fingers. Whichever way these loops want to go, if they feel comfortable, or if this one feels like he needs to go over there, like he's just fighting against you moving him, then move him back. Let him go and be comfortable. I'm going to put this fuchsia tail this way, open those 2 loops. So you see how it kind of looks like fingers? So it looks like 3 fingers, and then it's got 2 fingers that fall between those openings here. And then you're going to let this one come back over here. Let your fingers go around and hook your fingers on that ribbon like that, y'all, and pull it through there and let it make that loop. And now we're going to take the last one, and he's going to fall right in the center. And you can keep on opening things up a little more, depending on how wide you want it to be. Twist them ears around. And we're going to let that one fall kind of in the center. That's where you get the 3, 2, 1. And we're going to flip him around. Same thing, we're going to open them up. Now as you start pulling, you can start pulling on that zip tie a little bit. Make sure it stays good and snug, because it will start coming loose as you start moving stuff around in that stack. Now the tails, we want the tails, like here's the black polka dot tail on this side, so I want that other one to go straight across where it's at. So he's going to go over here, and we're going to open up the pink loops. Make sure that tail stays. Then we're going to find the pink one on this side, opposite. Make sure them loops stay open. And then we're going to have the single top loop, and here's the tail over here, so we're going to twist it, and we're going to take him across from where this one's at. So you want everything to run across from one another, if that makes any sense to everybody. Open up your loops. Make sure all your tails are good and fluffed. Make sure your all your loops are where they're supposed to be. And we've got a cute little airy bow that we're going to be sticking on the grapevine. Now I have a little tool that I use for that, so you can see how super cute that is. Then I get maybe one or two more clicks out of my zip tie before I cut it, because I'm going to trim it off with some wire cutters right here. We're just going to get in here, turn them wire cutters where you're cutting parts closest to that tie. Don't cut anything else though, and just snip that zip tie off. Now we're going to get the wreath back in here. I'm kind of hung up. Get the wreath back in here. And sometimes this one's going to be fine. Sometimes the grapevines are tighter, and I have to use my little homemade little tool I made, which is just it's just a hacksaw blade. I just took a hacksaw blade and I took my grinder and I grind the teeth off of it. Since it's got the little holes in the end, I can hook the chenille stem or the pipe cleaner in that hole and send it through that grapevine and pull them through. But this one's not very tight, so it's not going to be bad to do. So I'm trying to figure out which way she's going to hang this wreath. I don't guess it's going to matter. You can twist the bow. So what I do is I pull it over to the edge of the table, and I look at my tail. My long tails are coming down this way, so I let them kind of hang on that down side. And I just take one of the chenille stems and go in kind of closer to the center, and then another one out, not all the way to the edge, about middle ways, and I just find me a hole. Make sure they both go through there, but don't pull them too tight. Pull it down snug and then make your little twist. Get you a couple twists on it so it'll stay. Don't worry about tying it on yet, because you may want to move it if we start working around. So I just kind of leave my excess folded under for now until we get, ready to do more with it. And that's kind of what she has to work with. So she's going to have enough room to stick more florals under here, in these little airy parts. She can go between. She can move her little loops as she needs to, and she can add as much more florals and stuff on there as she wants to. And that's it, y'all. Super cute already, and when she fills in with more flowers, it's going to be super pretty, y'all. Super simple, super pretty. I hope you enjoyed this. Y'all make sure to stay tuned for part 3. This is part 2 of her putting together this grapevine. Part 3, she's going to be adding in all of her other flowers and more greenery and building up that outside around that bow. So I hope you enjoyed it. If you got some value out of my video today, give me a thumbs up. I'm Craig with the Bickums here at Small Town Wreath Shop, where you can get your supplies at smalltownwreathshop.com. Please subscribe to our channel, y'all. If you like our videos, let us know in the comments. We like the feedback so we can kind of know what we get better at and what we need to do different. So y'all have a wonderful, blessed day. We'll see y'all next time.